Who in this room has felt at least partially, if not fully, disheartened, or at least overwhelmed with trying to promote something online? Please raise your hand. Okay, good. I didn't want to be the only one. There's a mind-numbing bounty, endless bounty of ways in which we can promote our passion projects online, which means that there is a increasingly finite amount of time in which to learn, relearn, and then implement all of these things. Insult to injury, most of us in this room are artists, entrepreneurs, which is the same thing. We're going to talk about it, as well as academics, do-gooders, etc. And we are all notorious for wearing more hats than is fashionable. And I'm good you recognize that. And what happens is our marketing efforts are often a faint echo of the really interesting human stories that we're enduring on the front lines of our lives every day. So what we're going to try to do, it's too ambitious. There's over 100 slides. Will he get through them? I don't know. I'm going to try to take 12 years of experience promoting everything from dance, theater, film, music, health and beauty products, nonprofit causes, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to whittle it down. I'm going to try to funnel it through to you, hopefully with the idea that you get a stronger sense of all of the options that you have at your disposal and how to actualize with them when you have no time or money. That's like my bag. People usually hire me and go, I have no money. You're going to only get 4 hours a week. Make something happen, and I'll go deal. Which is partly why I am very popular in the arts sector. Okay, really approach all of the stuff I'm going to talk about with a fun first attitude. It is too much, and that's hilarious. And that is a choice you can make when getting a little bogged down by all the specifics we're going to get into. Hi, come on in. Don't be shy. You're fine. Come on in. This slide deck, which I put a lot of time into, I'm going to send it to you after we're done here. In the notes of each slide are going to be links to the things I'm talking about, the tools, tutorials. Really, it's designed to go over after the fact and be like, what were the cherry-picked things I was excited to try that I've never tried? Or you could be really ambitious and just go slide one and just go through each thing and slowly try to implement something for yourself. Get ahead in some way, okay? Are we ready? We should get started. Okay, great. Short-term, dopamine-driven feedback loops are destroying how society works. Great cue, come on in. So guess who said that? Former Facebook head of user growth. And he was talking about what? Social media, all right? He also said that because of the way the algorithms used to work, where we're only seeing echo chambers of the people that are like-minded, right, on our social feeds, it does breed a potential lack of civil discourse and mistruth and propagating disinformation, right? So we've already sort of experienced that. But this was a few years ago, and there have been mitigating changes since then. In fact, I pulled this screenshot just from a week and a half ago, where in order to do advertising, I had to confirm my identity in a very extreme way. So there are a lot of changes that are being made to the system. The main elephant in the room is that we just don't trust anything anymore. Now, there's a really interesting company. They do a global trust barometer every year of how the populace is now feeling about digital technology, And what we've learned from that is, how do I want to say it? Institutions, establishments, we used to trust those a lot more. We don't now. Now people trust what is very close to them. I'm going to get into how that plays out. Why don't we just quit, right? This has been really fun. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'm glad we did this. Why don't we just quit? Listen, I work professionally in this, and I ask myself that almost every day. No offense if you've been a client of mine in this room. But what I will answer with that is the propagation of fake news and what we understand as truth is now a little muddy. These things are determined by peer-to-peer contact now. Again, we trust things that are close to us. And what does that mean, Jamie? That means personal and political progress starts with you and the people that you interact with, meaning we are still like the strike force on this situation. So I would encourage us to stick with it and just have a lot of integrity and still use these systems, right? Because that can be infectious. Though I will say, I'm so bad about the glare on this. Anne Hathaway is right. We can close that. Can someone help me close that? Great. So Anne Hathaway is correct. It isn't fair We have a limited amount of time. Essentially, we are all in charge of our own media organizations now. I don't know if you noticed, on top of doing all the other projects that we're working on. It sucks a little bit, right? Okay, so we definitely have limited time. We have limited emotional and psychological bandwidth because we are just inundated with information. I am saturated personally, and you're gonna see that here. That's why there is like 105 slides. There's just too much, okay? Now, it is a moving target. This is the fact of the matter. Sometimes I have to change the screenshots you're gonna see today within the last 2 weeks, meaning these systems are changing constantly. So it's hard to get a handle on the best way to go about something. And no one really knows how to do it right. This is the truth. If anyone tells you they have this locked down how to do the things we're gonna talk about today, they're lying to you. They are suspect. Don't believe them. It is difficult, okay? Now, what are we doing today? Let's finally get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about websites. I find that people sleep on their websites a little bit when really they're arguably the most important element of what we do. How to increase search engine ranking, how to capture more leads, which just means potential clients, audience, etc. We're going to talk more about content because the rules are different than they were even a few years ago about producing your own content. We're going to learn how to be a little more strategic about it. We're going to talk about best practices currently for email marketing, which is a very powerful thing that I think people are used to kind of writing off. We're going to talk about press coverage, which is one of my favorite things, oddly enough, and how to properly pitch, how to write a really good press release. And we're going to talk about some of the sort of unorthodox methods I've developed for acquiring press. We're going to also get heavily into social media. That is a lot of the sort of main things that people are interested in. We're going to talk about how to assess the data that you're given on your social platforms in a human way, trying to see the people under it. We're going to talk about how to optimize, even if you have no ad budget, how to optimize just your organic, normal, everyday posts, because the algorithms keep changing. So I'm going to update you as of today where we're at with that, because it does keep changing. We're also going to do a thorough, but still introductory lesson on social advertising, because it is a pay-to-play game right now. And even with a small budget, if you're very strategic, you can be effective. Okay, what else does he have? In case you were wondering who the hell does this guy think he is, we're going to go through this quickly. I have a dance background, did a lot of very wild comedic work, and then I transitioned into like actual comedy. Buy me a drink, we'll talk about it sometime. Okay, I'm also a marketing nerd, bona fide marketing nerd. I went to Baruch College and magna cum laude, graduated with a degree in digital communications. You'll be seeing some of those things that I've learned today. I'm also currently part-time the digital marketing manager of the CUNY Dance Initiative, which is how this whole thing was facilitated. In fact, the director is here, Alyssa Alpine. Please, everyone, give her a round of applause. Where are you? Where'd she go? Oh, thank you. Over here. Great. Also, these are some of the other clients that I have worked with. I can't fit them all, but I also do a lot of freelance work. Could even do it for you at some point if you talk to me. Just to give you an idea that I may sometimes know what I'm talking about, these are actual statistics and reports I've turned into some of the clients I've worked with. I've also gotten my clients or myself, and I have no reason being in the press. I've gotten myself in all of these things, most of these things, and some of the clients that I have, I've gotten into these publications, so I sometimes know what I'm talking about, but I do not know everything. This is really an opportunity for us to have a conversation. So as I'm bringing up ideas, if you have a challenging point, like that maybe you have an experience that counters that, feel free to bring it up. You can. I will be babbling a lot. I apologize in advance for that. But you can stop me at any time, ask me questions, offer anecdotes, anything that we can do to help facilitate a conversation, because we all have different experiences and we all have a lot to learn from each other, and how my audience might react to something might be different to how your audience does it. And I do want to share ideas as much as we can, in this time. Now, normally I would actually say my workshops are better designed to be 3 hours long. So often I'll have a take action moment where we would stop and work on maybe something I recently talked about. We don't have a ton of time to do that today. I'm going to keep some of these in here anyway, because when you go back through this slide deck, it reminds you to go, hey, stop and try one of those things. Also, I encourage you to take photos and video of me. You can look at your phone during this workshop while I'm talking. Eureka, you're free. So take photos, please take photos. Tag CUNY Dance Initiative and me online. I am a sharing fool. Live posts, if you wrote down a note that you thought was kind of smart, share it with other people that could benefit. We want to expand this learning as much as we can. Also, I will give you opportunity to follow each other after the thing is over. So we definitely are all part of this sort of creative industries of New York City. We are part of a shared community. it wouldn't hurt if we kind of kept in touch, if possible. All right.